Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom. Um, this is, I wanted to touch on, a lesson that I was doing, did last night, and, I kind of ended abruptly because this recorder will only record up to maybe a little less than an hour before it cuts off, and then will, pretty much won't save the video, and I'll have to redo the entire lesson. But I just want to continue on from where I left off from Revelation 13 and 16, going into the charagma. But this is uh, going into the same thing, but just more information about it. So here I just did a quick Google search. It says micro sea hipping and branding livestock, and it says sea hipping and branding are both methods of identifying livestock. Sea hipping. A veterinarian uses a hypodermic needle to implant a glass cylinder containing a radio frequency identification RFID micro sea hip under the animal's skin. The micro sea hip, now, these elites, they refer to the regular, the population, the non elites, as cattle, sheep, goyim, animals. So the micro sea hip is about the size of a grain of rice and is inert. So the animal's body doesn't reject it because you're basically, it's encased in glass, and your body will react to any foreign object. And as you know from Revelation 8, everybody that gets this sea hip is going to get grievous sores. It's gonna get infected somehow, some kind of way. But they put it in this because this is the safest method so far. I've seen different videos of people, explaining that they had to that do biohacking and stuff like that. That they basically they tried to insert just the straight metal into them, and it got really infected, like really bad, like the skin changing colors, the oozing different things. It's really gross. But anyway, continuing, a micro sea hip scanner emits radio waves that activate the micro sea hip, which then emits a unique identification number. So each one of these sea hips is going to have a unique number to it. Just like the barcodes, the UPC codes, those are all unique numbers. And then in between each of those, I can't remember, I think it's like 2 or 3 groups of digits. It has 2 lines going through, 2 lines at the end, 2 lines in the middle, and then 2 lines at the other end. And those lines represent a 6. But anyway, continuing, a micro sea hip scanner emits radio waves that activate the micro sea hip, which then emits a unique identification number that can be read on the scanner. So when this thing comes out, it's going to be in your forehead or in your hand. You're going to wave your palm, and it's going to put up a unique ID number. It's going to have all your information on it. The same thing like it is here. Micro sea hips are permanent and provide proof of ownership. This is the point. When you get this thing, when you get this thing inside of you, which the elect are not going to get this. They're going to refuse the chip. They're going to die to not take it. The Lord is going to deliver them however it happens. They are not going to take this. But this here is showing proof of ownership. It's showing who owns you. Showing all the information. You're pledging your allegiance to this beast system. They can be useful if an animal is lost or stolen, and that reminds me of I think a few movies. Minority Report is one, where Tom Cruise's character, he couldn't, he had to get his eyes, changed with another guy's eyes, and whenever he went into this store, it pulled up advertisements specifically for the guy, whose eyes he had. And I want to say Running Man had something like that too, but I don't remember exactly. I know there's a few movies like that where, another one was Idiocracy. That's one I remember for sure that had something like that because in that movie they showed something like the MOTB, but it was a barcode that they had tattooed on them, and whenever they the guy Luke Wilson's character, whenever he passed through certain areas that had the scanners or whatever, it pulled up his image and all his information, But anyway, again, they can be useful if an animal is lost or stolen, and can also help police track down the owners of abandoned animals. So, say you take this MOTB, like the guy that was having a dream a few weeks back, saying that they had the drones flying around, and if you didn't get scanned, if you weren't able to be tracked on the drones or whatever like that, they sent people after you, something like that. But I remember him saying that the drones were scanning everybody's chips. But hey, if you don't have this, or if you have it, you trying to go off grid, they'll be able to track you just through the chip. The same way they're using the chip now. All they're doing is experimenting on these animals. Your cat or dog that you have this chip in or whatever that gets lost, you're able to track them down. Well, imagine it's a person with it. But the next part, and Salaki, I'm not trying to ramble on, but let me go here. This is Revelation 13-16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So again, we'll go to this word mark. This is G5480 charagma, and it says a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, which is, there's many Antichrists. This is those that are following this beast system. The mark branded upon horses, the thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. So this is a thing that's going to go inside of you. It's going to have all your information. This is G5482 Charax. It says to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching, a stake, a palisade, a rampart. So if you look those up, which matter of fact, I can just do it right here. A stake. It's not the car. You're not going to have a car inside of you. But like this fence, like this one here particularly, how it's pointed to the end. It's like that. It's through the idea of that point. There it is right there. It has the whole thing. There it is right there. Showing you. It's at a point at the end. It's going by that imagery. It's using that word charax because it's sharpened to a point. It's going to the idea of the needle. And then the next word, which is grapho, which this is that C hip right there that you see, that little grain of rice, that little brown thing right here. That's what it was talking about. It has an RFID, the radio frequency identification, and that has all the information on there. Or if not, it'll be on a server somewhere or in the cloud. However, but that's the identification. That has the ID number in it. That's going to be scanned. They're going to have different scanners, however they have it set up. That'll tell who you are. But back to charagma or charax. So that's the stake, the palisade, that syringe. And it's going to deliver the charagma, the actual grain of rice. And then here, G1125 grapho. In that charagma is going to have grapho, written information. So to write with reference to the form of letters. So it's going to have to write with the reference to the contents of the writing, to express in written characters, meaning that it's going to have information on it. It's going to have all your information. You know, and this is going to be the identifying mark, showing you who you belong to. You belong to this new world order. You're a citizen of this new world order. You belong to this new system. So who are you? But you're not going to be able to get by in this system without this. So again, I'm not going to read that for branding because I have it right here. And this is an article from Britannica.com going into branding. It says branding, the permanent marking of livestock or goods using a distinctive design made by hot or super chilled metal, chemical, tattoo, or paint for purposes of identification. And that's what this CHIP is for identification, for branding you cattle. Brands are applied to animals as principally to establish ownership, but they are also used widely for keeping records of purebred lines for identification and disease control and age differentiation. But that was the point of that, for to establish ownership. Once you get this, it's going to be you're going to be owned. You're saying you want to be owned by Esau Edom, by this beast, the beast system. You're saying that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai isn't your master, your ruler. You're saying this man is. Let's see here. It's going to jump down. See, this guy has a brand on his forehead. Here we go. The ancient Greeks branded their slaves with a delta for doulos, or slave. Robbers and runaway slaves were marked by the Romans with the letter F for fugitivus or fugitive. And then spoilers in the mines and convicts condemned to figure in gladiatorial shows were branded on the forehead for identification. So this branding, this here is a brand. You know, this here is a marking, establishing ownership, what you are, who owns you. Under Constantine, the face was not permitted to be disfigured, so brands were placed on the hand, arm, or calf. And that's it for that. Establishing that a branding has been used throughout history, and this is a new form of branding, because it's going to be electronic. You know, it's going to be digital, a digital brand. And that's all I'm going to read from this article. So here we go to I'm going to start here. This is Exodus 21 and verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. So this here, hey, you love this world, you know, putting this in today's context. You know, here, if you want to stay in this society, you love the way this here Babylon the Great is. You want to make it here. You love, you know, your wicked wife, your or however you love living life here. You can't imagine anything beyond this. Now, in the ancient world, this would be if you had a slave and he wanted to stay with you, this is what you would do. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. So if you had slaves in the ancient world, and after I believe it was 6 years, you had to let them go free. But if you gave them a wife, they had children with the wife that you gave them under your house or whatever. They had to stay with you. But if they wanted to keep all that, that man or would say, I want to stay here. I want to keep all this. I love my wife, my children, all this. I don't want to leave without them. So I want to stay with my master. I want to stay with you. So, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. So let's see here. Bore. This is H7527 Ratazai. It says to bore, to pierce, which the boring instrument in this case. Let's look this up real quick. No. Oh, you know what? I can just look up all. Okay, the spelling's changed. All right. So see here, this is an all, but it's spelled in the modern day. So it's that same idea, principle. So again, go back to Exodus 21. Exodus 21 and verse 6. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. So that awl will make a hole in the ear, which is the same thing, a boring instrument. So here, this would go pierce through the ear. This is the same idea as the charaks. And that the mark left from that is that grapho is giving the information of who owns this slave. But in the applying this to modern times, if you want Esau Edom to be your master, you want to be a slave. You want to put your how do you say? You want to show your allegiance to this beast system. This is what you'll do. You'll get that all, the Clorox, the syringe. You'll get that RFID in you, and that'll be your identifier. Okay. So again, that'll be the sign of your allegiance, who you're serving. Now the elect aren't going to get this. The elect are going to refuse this. And I had an article here going into human branding. Human branding or stigmatizing is the process by which a mark, usually a symbol or ornamental pattern, is burned into the skin of a living person with the intention of the resulting scar making it permanent. And when this is put into your hand, look at the different videos for people getting these C-hips. And once you get it into your hand, and you can't take it out, that tissue starts to scar around it. It's in between your thumb and your index finger. Then you have lots of different layers of muscles there and ligaments. It's impossible to get out. And it leaves a scar, and it's going to leave a boil. It's going to leave a cancerous sore. But let me see here. This is performed using a hot or very cold branding iron. It therefore uses the physical techniques of livestock branding on a human, either with consent as a form of body modification And this thing is gonna take your consent. A lot of people are gonna be down with this. You know, when this first comes out, hey, this is people are gonna be lining up to take this, or under coercion as a punishment, or to identify an enslaved, oppressed, or otherwise controlled person. And then also, hey, people are going to take this willingly, but then people are also going to be coerced to do this. The same thing like the a few years back. You know, think 3-4 years ago, what happened? They had people like, well, you can't come in here, you can't work here anymore if you don't get this. You know, we can't do any business with you if you don't get this. But they're saying they're not forcing anybody to do it, but they're really forcing people to do this stuff. So this is let me go back to Revelation 13 and 16. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So whether they're small, great, rich, poor, free and bond, this is everybody. That's not just, you know, people worshiping the image of Jesus Cristo or stuff like that. It's not worshiping white women. This is everybody. This is outside of religions. This is everybody on the earth. It's not just sin. You know, did you sin today? It's not that. So here we'll go to Kazif G4160 Poeo. And I'm going to jump down to number 9 here. To make one do something, cause one to do. So many people, however it is, hey, they're going to be caused to do this. They're going to be made to do this. And I'm saying what brought this to mind was the coercion. So here, coerce. This is coercion from the Wiktionary.org. It says coercere, to surround, encompass, restrain, control, or curb. So also together, and arcere, to enclose, confine, to keep off. So like it says in the next verse here, Revelation 13 and verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So by this, making everybody to do this, by coercing, you know, many people are going to line up to do it willingly. That's that. But many other people that won't do it willingly, they're going to be coerced to do this because they're not going to be able to survive. They're not going to be able to participate in society. What can you do here in Babylon the Great? Hey, if you can't buy anything, if you can't sell anything, if you can't have a business, if you don't have a way to make money, it'll be okay. You can make money, you can make money or whatever, but you can't spend it anywhere. You're not going to be able to make it here. This society is built off of buying and selling. This is a constant doing that. You can't live off the grid. You can't be homeless. Everything is tracked. You can't make it here without, especially in this NWO, you're not going to be able to survive here without playing Esau's game. So that's pretty much it for the lesson. A Lord willing was edifying. Stay strong. You know, times is getting tight, and the tighter it gets, the more beautiful it's going to get, because the coming destruction of this place is going to be so beautiful. It's going to be beyond anything. You know, sometimes, you know, I'm driving or whatever like that. I'll imagine the seeing the ICBMs blowing up, seeing mushroom clouds, the sky red. But when it actually happens, it's going to be so much more beautiful than anything we could ever imagine. You know, seeing this place go up, seeing this place being wiped off the map is going to be so much more beautiful than anything that can be imagined. And Lord willing, it happens soon. But all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arkakwadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 rest of your life. Shalom.